year. Off we go into the new year. So I want to thank the greeters, Dan Needham, Bill Sauber. We have a new crew on our microphones. Michael Cook, Brian Purcell, and Alan Bertozzi is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Face the flag.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Wayne couldn't be here this morning, he has the flu, so Jim Horn says he will give us the big idea of talk today.
Okay, you ready?
Are you ready?
I am ready.
Okay. Come on, Mike. 18.
No, this is not the 18. Only 180.
All right, focus on. Believe that life is wonderful and awesome, and your belief will create it.
Look at that.
Mr. Joe.
That hasn't changed much. Happy New Year.
I couldn't find anything as good as that.
Yeah, oh, okay. So do you remember Guy Lombardo?
Yeah.
Yeah? But I figured that, well, I think Bruce knows his father very well. But anyway, on New Year's Eve, of course, what did they do? They played Auld Lang Syne, which I thought, since it's the first meeting of the new year, that we'll do Auld Lang Syne. And I think almost everybody knows the words, and if you don't, Dan will get you through it. All right, here we go. Should old acquaintance be forgot and never brought to mind? Should old acquaintance be forgot and days of Auld Lang Syne? For Auld Lang Syne, my dear, for Auld Lang Syne, we'll drink the cup of kindness yet, for Auld Lang Syne.
Yay. Please tell us about our.
Good morning. Please welcome Steve Garlock, owner Park Fatani.
Have a visitor. Roving microphones will come. No visitors.
Our exchange student.
We have our
Ian.
exchange students out here.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you doing?
Morning.
Happy New Year to all of you, and sorry because it's been a while since I haven't come here because lately I switched family from this club to the other club, so it's more difficult to get this morning club in the morning. It's pretty early for me. So I hope I'll be able to come here more often. I'm more adapt to my new family.
Welcome, glad you're here. Let's have a little applause for our guests and. We're going to move right into birthdays. We have two of them. January the 12th is Bill Thomas's birthday. Good morning, Gail. So how are you this morning?
Well, it's actually exciting. It's exciting to have a birthday that beats the alternative. So I have no great plans, but I'll think of something. Thank you.
Fantastic.
All meeting.
Are you feeling nervous yet?
Now you're not standing behind me, over and over me. So yes, so that, like as Gail said, it's better than the alternative. And we don't have anything major planned, not sure exactly what we're doing yet. We did get some tickets to a show down at the Great Rancheria. There's a band called the Indigenous Flag, so we could go rock out with them a little bit. But that's, yeah, thank you.
Great. Interestingly enough, no members got married in the month of January. We had one anniversary. But Matt Whitman is celebrating his first year here. Matt, put you on the spot here. Do you have a Rotary moment, something that's happened this first year that really
So many. It's been wonderful, great. Told that I should stand up, look all of you in the eye. It's been great, there's been so many moments, how could I possibly?
Well, you certainly jumped into the club and done your job, worked hard on occasion, cleaning up our storage.
I do have to, when the proper moment arrives, I have to retire my yellow ribbon.
You should.
And I have to maybe put it in some sort of museum because it is so frayed. Remarkably frayed.
Well, are you busy now?
Sorry?
Are you busy now?
I'm not busy now.
Well, why don't you come up here, and Gail, if you would come up as your sponsor. We will declare you permitted.
You see. We will
Read a hazmat team.
pray quality.
We should do another year on the yellow.
One is not enough. One is not enough. So good. Look over my jacket. Before your eyes, people were asking me why in fact, had I put on a suit. Well, yeah. And so, I looked down. I'm gonna have to hold it. How do we do this? I'm missing the magnets. This is an assist.
We rehearsed this about 5 times this morning. Some of you may not know that GTOs is closing. They had some dinners last week, and but this staying open for a little bit longer, and they would like to offer us first Friday, this coming Friday, at 5:30. So. And if any of you have friends that were considering submitting a community grant this year. Now is the time. We only have a few submissions. We're going to extend the deadline for another 30 days, at the end of February. But talk to your friends if they want to submit an application for a grant, because the chances would be pretty good that they would get some money. And one last announcement, there's going to be a crab feed here. It'll be Saturday, the 17th of January. And our master caterer over there, Larry, is going to be preparing the feed. $50, but it's all the crab you need.
You mean Grandpa Larry?
Yeah, all the crab you can eat. What kind of crab? Oh, you know, we're using the soft shell crab. You know, Dungeness is too expensive. Time-wise, there's 2 seatings. One's at 5:30, one's at 7 o'clock. So it's crab, salad, pasta, garlic bread. What else do they do? I know they do some desserts and stuff. They always have wine available. Or bring your own bottle.
How do we get tickets?
Do we get tickets? I have tickets, so you can get them from me. Otherwise, there's a number you can call that's outside on the little sign that's out on the grass in front.
Is that your number?
No. But I do have tickets available. But it's always a fun one.
Do you have anything to report on the sunshine?
No sunshine.
Don't quit your day job.
Bill Withers sings a lot better than I do. I don't know anything about anybody, I'm sorry.
So sometimes Linda is clever. Can you hear anything?
I'm excited about First Friday. It's like the long goodbye. I've been like a lot of times. Maybe this is the last time, but yeah, it's going to be fun. Yeah. I don't think I have any news. Well, Gina Clausman is in the hospital, so let's all hold a good thought. She's got a bout of pneumonia, so let's keep her in our thoughts and prayers. That's some sunshine.
Well, this was at the
Second to
quote last So we got 3 pistol packer mamas here. Nancy, what was going on here?
Josh, what was going on? I thought what went on at GTO stayed at GTO.
That was before Facebook.
That was before what?
Facebook.
Oh, yeah, well, there you go. We had a great time. That was the, what did we just call it, closing point 1? And so this Friday is closing point 2, is that right?
It's probably closing point 6 or 7.
Oh, it's 6 or 7? We had a good time. It was fun.
Yeah. Okay. Well. I think
How much?
Darlene, Debbie.
Why don't you
and,
girls go up and reenact that pose?
With you in the middle of it.
Angels.
It's about $10 a piece.
They had the Photoshop.
Come on, Darlene.
Come on, come on. Strike the pose. Does this make you classy? Are you okay?
Where are we in? Oh boy, we should get half more of that. All right, this is a really sweet picture. You want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah. That's my Alice from the Brady Bunch hairdo. My daughter got married on July 20th. So that was out at Jada Hill Vineyards. You can see how house girl my husband together. And it was a good time. So she's married, she's happy, it's 6 months now, and that's all good.
Well, I think another $10 would be good.
Okay.
And this next one is just too good. Yeah, that's a great shot of you, Susan.
Thank you.
So I know you went to Japan to relive previous experiences.
We had a wonderful 3 weeks in Japan, great country, great people. Remarkably inexpensive for all of you. It's probably the least expensive first world country anywhere. And great food, of course. It's a great time. That was at a temple in Takayama, shrine. And there were hundreds of them, so it's hard to remember which one was which. But it was fall, and it was a wonderful time. Great time. So if any of you are interested in going to Japan, please talk to me. We learned an awful lot while we were there. We did the trip on our own, so I was with another set of friends and stuff. So we had to do a lot of our independent research. So it's great, really great trip.
I think it's probably worth $10.
Oh, good.
At least.
So how about some happy bucks? Anybody have anything happy that happened?
Michael.
Yes, Barbara.
We had a white Christmas. We were up in Idaho, and the best part about Christmas is we got my mother-in-law, who's 90, to agree to move into assisted living, so very happy.
How much you going to contribute to that? $1, okay. Pam?
Grandbaby number 3 is on the way. My younger son and his mother are due in August, actually, right around the time of my husband's birthday. So Jim's saying, well, hold on to it a couple extra days so we can honor my birthday. I don't think he understands that we don't really, if we had a 9 months, we're ready to let him go. Thanks, I'm excited.
Who else? Happy. Oh, we got one over here with Matt.
Didn't you for one?
So this is a little, there's a certain potential tragedy here, but it was the way it transpired over the last week was just so wonderful. My sister and her husband had a 25th anniversary party at Presidio in San Francisco. It was just a wonderful event with lots of people from our distant past. And perhaps the most significant part of it is Bill, my brother-in-law, was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer in spring of last year. And yesterday we received the news that his scan and his blood work were better than normal. And so this was just a great, wonderful trajectory through the new year and a wonderful celebration, a wonderful thing to have. So I'd like to donate $20.
Thank you. Julie and Jeff.
All right, I'm happy to announce that my oldest daughter, Katie Lauren, who goes to, she's a sophomore at Lewis and Clark College in Portland, is doing a semester abroad. So we shipped her off to New Zealand on January 3rd. And they're starting up in Auckland and going all the way down to the South Island, spending a month in Wellington at the university there. And the whole time they're going to be studying arachnids as a biology major. And fortunately there's no poisonous spiders in New Zealand. So as they study those, no chance of getting bit or sick or anything like that. But it's interesting, they'll be doing some anthropology studies which includes Maori traditions and so forth. And I'm so very jealous because she's going to the Rugby Sevens tournament in Wellington. As part of that, as part of the class, you know, along with whale watching and dolphin and all. I mean, it's crazy their agenda. So very jealous. So because I can barely afford her tuition anyways, I'll give $10 for that.
That was a very rigorous
Yeah.
agenda. Yes, Julie?
I brought you something back from Holland. Gee, I was in Germany, Belgium, and Holland. You know they make chocolate in all those countries?
This is a wonderful day.
So what's in the chocolate from Holland?
What's in the chocolate?
You want to know? No.
Many of you know, I think,
Customs.
I think a lot of you already know that my son Danny and his wife Sherry finally decided that Pat and I will become grandparents. And so on December, on 12, 13, 14, we decided to have twins. A boy and a girl, just get it all done, get out of the way, and be done with it hopefully. So my wife is very over the moon about these little babies, and I'm happy about it, but I'm not as embracing of it as she is, but it's all very good. Healthy babies, big, both over 6 pounds, so. James and Darian Joy is the girl's name.
So did she have one on the, what did you say, one on the 12th and one on 13th?
No, they were born on December 12th, 2013, 2014. So both the same day. Thank you. And I guess kids are worth $20.
President Ken, my folks know that I have enough ties and sweaters, so as you see, I'm not wearing either of those, but they did give a donation to the Rotary Foundation for all of it, yeah, so.
I sure. Larry needs a mic.
So, in keeping with the family, yesterday I got an email from my first son-in-law, and he says, "Oh, you should congratulate me. I'm in the top 2% of his company where he works, and they're sending me, him and my daughter to Hawaii. And by the way, you get to watch the 2 grandkids for a week." And that's okay with me. And then followed up with that, it was an email from my daughter, and she says, not to be outdone by my husband, she's in the top 5% of sales team for the San Francisco Chronicle, so that's good news for my kids.
Very good.
And she's got a trip coming, but I think she said it's Amsterdam, and I don't have those dates. Chronicle had more money than Earmark.
You don't have to go all the way to Amsterdam anymore, it's legal in California, isn't it? You know, why bother the flight, you know, you can save a lot of money. So, my one announcement, you know, after my wife and I turned 48 in November, we turned grandparents on Christmas Eve morning. A little baby boy, 7 pounds, doing well. So hopefully all continues to go well. So, name is Jalen. Jalen. J-A-L-O-P. Christensen is his last name. So Christensen, good last name for a good close to Christmas baby. So, but I guess that's worth $20, right?
Very nice. I saw more hands. Gail?
Listening to all the good news reminds me, those of you who have followed the saga of my daughter Catherine and her family in China, they moved back, yes, thank you, Lord, to the United States. They are now back in Chicago, and I said, well, now you can have adventures in Chicago. And she said, Mom, I am through with adventures. So we are pleased to know that they are now on this side of the ocean. Thank you.
I've got a happy buck. I got to spend with my wife and kids a trip to Mexico over the holidays. And we found out that if we pay for the trips, our kids will still travel with us. But my daughter, who's a sophomore, is going to spend a year next year in Spain. She did the Rotary Exchange in Madrid, so she's had experience. And she's doing a minor in Spanish, and she just changed her major to speech pathology. And my son is graduating in June, so so far so good. I might have a few happy bucks in about 3 years, but I'll throw in $20.
Sounds good. Last chance. Bruce?
We had a somewhat uneventful holiday, but we did have a couple of fun things that happened. Our grandson, who graduated last year from USC, is spending this year studying at the London School of Economics. And he and his significant other were with us for part of Christmas. In fact, as we speak, they're somewhere between here and London, returning to school next Monday by way of Kiev and Denmark. His significant other is the daughter of a past Rotary president from Kiev. And they're really a cute couple. I'm not quite sure how he's going to handle that trip because they're flying nonstop from here to London, then London to Paris, Paris to Kiev, back to London. And with all that flying, someone who is 6'8" is going to be a little bit cramped for that period of time. They don't get to fly first class either. But we had a really enjoyable time with him. We had dinner with him last Monday. And, hopefully the next time he's back in town, I'm going to drag him along the Rotary so you all get to meet him.
Well, I had a nice Christmas. I think $10 worth. Put about 2,000 miles on my car. Drove to Newport Beach. Met lots of family. And back here and up to Medford, Oregon, and back. So all of that's around 2,000 miles. $10. And Linda.
I just want to thank everybody who helped for the Christmas dinner. We had a great turnout. The place looked fabulous. The food was incredible. Thank you, Larry, for all those turkeys. Thank you, everybody who helped, who showed up for the days before. My hat goes off to the bitter enders who we didn't leave till that last crumb was off the floor. So another great experience, a gift to our community, and I thank each and every one of you.
There's a magazine called the North Bay Business, and this issue has a nice article on the Rotary effect. Talks about us. It mentions 7 different fundraisers that happen through the Rotary. And 2 of them, you guys can cook in Cajun, all right. There you go. We have a little different, one last thing. These chocolates are not only delicious, but they're beautiful.
It's a wonder they survived through Christmas.
Thank you. Okay, so I need a little drum roll. Today's program is the Joe and Terry Show.